London, 1888. A brutal killer lurks in the shadows, leaving a trail of death and fear through the narrow, fog-covered streets of Whitechapel. His crimes shocked the world, and his identity remains a mystery to this day. Who was Jack the Ripper? And why was he never caught? Between August and November of 1888, a series of gruesome murders terrified the streets of London. The victims were vulnerable women, brutally attacked and left with horrifying mutilations. But this was not just any killer. Jack the Ripper didn't just kill. He carved his victims with surgical precision, removing organs with chilling expertise. The press quickly gave him a name that would become infamous across the world: Jack the Ripper. Today, we will revisit his crimes, the police investigation, and the many theories that still haunt history. The first murder attributed to the Ripper took place in the early hours of August 31st, 1888. The victim, Mary Ann Nichols, was found lying lifeless in a dark alleyway. Her throat had been slashed, and deep cuts marked her abdomen. Just 1 week later, on September 8th, another woman, Annie Chapman, was found in an even more horrific state. This time, the killer had removed parts of her body, exposing a level of anatomical knowledge that baffled investigators. The fear spread through Whitechapel, but the worst was yet to come. On the night of September 30th, the killer struck twice in what became known as the double event. The first victim, Elizabeth Stride, was found with a deep cut across her throat. But strangely, her body had no further mutilations. Investigators believed that the Ripper may have been interrupted before he could complete his ritual. Only 45 minutes later, the body of Catherine Eddowes was discovered. This time, the killer had unleashed his full brutality. Her face was disfigured, and her internal organs were removed with chilling precision. The final and most gruesome murder came on November 9th. Mary Jane Kelly was found inside her small, rented room. Her body so horribly dismembered that even the most experienced investigators were left in shock. The London police were in a state of panic. Investigators questioned hundreds of suspects, combed through dark alleyways, and even consulted medical professionals to understand the killer's methods. Whoever the Ripper was, he killed with the precision of a surgeon. Was he a doctor? A butcher? A madman with extraordinary knowledge? The press fueled the hysteria, and then a shocking new element emerged. A letter, supposedly from the killer himself. Signed Jack the Ripper, the letter mocked the police and promised more killings. But was it real, or just a hoax created to spread more fear? More than a century later, the theories surrounding Jack the Ripper continue to multiply. Here are some of the most famous ones. The surgeon theory. Some believe that Jack was a doctor or a medical student due to the precise way he removed organs. One of the most famous suspects was Sir William Gull, a physician to Queen Victoria. The royal family conspiracy. Another popular theory suggests that the Ripper was none other than Prince Albert Victor, Queen Victoria's grandson. The idea was that the murders were part of a royal cover-up. However, there is little solid evidence to support this claim. The butcher or the Polish immigrant. Another prime suspect was Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber who suffered from mental illness. He was eventually placed in an asylum, and in 2019, a genetic study claimed that DNA evidence linked him to one of the victims. But the proof remains inconclusive. Jack or Jill. Some theories even suggest that the Ripper may have been a woman, perhaps a midwife, who wouldn't have attracted suspicion if seen covered in blood on the streets. Despite numerous investigations over the centuries, Jack the Ripper was never identified. His case remains the greatest unsolved mystery in criminology, inspiring books, films, and countless studies, the fascination with the Ripper endures because he represents the ultimate fear of the unknown. Who was he? Why did he kill? And why did he suddenly stop? We may never have the answers. But one thing is certain, his story still haunts the streets of London to this day. More than 130 years later, Jack the Ripper remains one of history's greatest criminal mysteries. He vanished without a trace, leaving behind a legacy of fear and endless speculation. Do you think his identity has already been discovered? Or will he remain an eternal enigma? Leave your thoughts in the comments, like the video, and subscribe to the channel for more mysterious stories like this one.